and welcome to Season 3 of the Wellness Journey podcast with me, Rhi Bowden.
And me, Suzanne Williams. This season is all about power, and today we'll be chatting about the power of words. The way we speak to ourselves, about ourselves and to others, I feel sets the tone for our whole life. Now that's a big statement.
Huge statement.
It's a huge statement. So Rhian, what's this mean then? How are words powerful?
Well, I've certainly felt that words have had a massive role to play on my wellness journey, and having that awareness of the words that I think, the words that I speak, and also what individual words mean to me as well, and my perception of those words. Having that understanding and that awareness has allowed me to, I guess, consciously choose which words I use.
Definitely.
And pausing just for a moment, and rather than coming out with a sentence that I've used over and over again, that's just habitual, that you've heard people say, and so it's ingrained in you.
Like a parrot.
Just pausing and then speaking words that I actually mean,
yes,
that I actually mean and that I want to say, and words that are putting out, I guess, positivity, because there's a lot of, I guess, negative, I'll call them negative, but negative words and negative phrases and sayings that I would use regularly without any awareness. And for example, a sentence starter quite often for me was, the problem is, see, the trouble is, or the problem is.
Yeah, definitely.
So that was one. So for me, I was putting out there all the time.
Straight away.
I have loads of problems and troubles.
Yes. Yeah. Another one that people use is, I'll worry about that tomorrow. I will worry about that later. Instead of, I'll think about that later. I'll come to that later. The words that we use, that we've picked up and we've inherited from many different sources, really impacts what that means to us, because your brain is always listening. You're always listening to how you speak, whether it's in your head or out of your mouth. So it's about choosing words that are more powerful, isn't it? Choosing, that's a good one, isn't it? Choosing your words. Yeah. What is the saying? Choose your words carefully.
Yeah.
And this definitely means...
And that's where the power is.
It is, choosing.
Power.
You're not just... Blah, 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 blah,
yes.
blah, 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 blah.
I choose what I think.
Yeah.
I choose what I say.
Yeah, definitely. And there are such beautiful words that we can use now. And something like growth mindset is choosing words that are more powerful. I will learn. Not yet.
Yes.
So you're giving yourself expansion and possibility. Like, I'm no good at maths, me. I'm no good at that. I'm rubbish at that. I can't do that.
I can't do that.
Oh, not me. Not me. Yeah, that's very blocking, isn't it? And it's powerless where we want our words to be. I can learn that. I will. And you're using things that are moving you forward with your language. And instead of the problem is, something today is challenging me, but I'm sure I can learn, or I'll get support from someone who can help me with this.
Yeah. I'll find a solution to this.
Definitely. You open it up, don't you? And you don't make your reality, there's the door, I've closed it.
Yeah.
So the power in words is, because humans are separate from animals in the fact that we can communicate incredibly well. Well, we're meant to be able to communicate incredibly well. I don't know if we do all the time, myself included. But once we use this communication tool effectively, oh my gosh, it can really change the way we walk, even the way our shoulders are held, our presence with others, our alignment with everything in our life comes from, lots of it comes from our speech.
Yeah.
In here or out there.
Yeah.
Definitely.
There's a big, I would say, when you take ownership of the words that you speak in particular. So when you're, obviously your thoughts, only you can hear that, and only you're aware of that. Yeah, yes, thank goodness for that. But the words that you put out there, that other human being that is listening to those words takes that on board as well. And I've realised as a mum how important my role is with my children to say, for example, with football, previously I would have gone, oh, did you win today? did you score a goal today? Because that is what I'm conditioned to say.
Yes.
You've had a football match today. I'm conditioned to ask you these
Did
two
you
questions.
win?
Did you win? Did you score a goal? And on reflection, I thought, let's not do that, because, let's just say, have you enjoyed yourself today? Did you enjoy football? Did you have a good time? Were you happy with your performance? I don't ask them about that kind of competitiveness and that judgment of, well, if you lost, you're a loser,
Yeah. Which you see negatively then, isn't
yes,
it? No,
yes.
I didn't win. There's the conversation.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
That's made me feel wonderful.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No, well, exactly.
Yeah.
And I want two happy kids. Yeah. I don't want them moping around, feeling rubbish about themselves because they've lost or they didn't score a goal. And,
yes.
I mean, I've even seen that within them where they've scored that goal, but they've won the match but didn't score a goal, and then be disappointed and upset with themselves because they didn't score the goal.
Yeah.
That's
not. Yeah, it's looking at the way we speak, isn't it?
Yes, and
we speak
not
to others,
judging ourselves based on that one experience. Oh, I must be, no good because I didn't do that.
And that definitely links then, that's our outer speech, isn't it? But it links to our inner speech. There's a saying, isn't it? Be careful how you talk to yourself because you are listening. That's so powerful. If your inner speech is, I'm rubbish, I'm not this, and you look in the mirror and you're like, I'm not that, and how do you think you feel? In your mind and body, how do you think this being feels? It feels really, that's tough. When you realise that, when I realised that on my journey, I thought, oh my gosh, this poor being is having a battering from me every day. How on earth is she meant to be happy? How on earth are we meant to feel good if we are doing those sort of questioning in our heads? Well, you didn't do that today. You didn't tick off that to-do list. They did it. They didn't. You did that. And it just goes round and round. And this poor being is exhausted at the end of the day and doesn't feel that they're able to step into their power. But once you know that there's that talk, isn't it? And you know it and you become aware of it, there's the power. You can change it. I can and I am.
Yeah. That was a big realization for me when I did my mindfulness course and my mindfulness training, knowing that I don't have to engage in every thought that I think.
No.
And I can choose.
That's the huge one.
I can choose what
Yes.
I thought, what I think, and what I engage in. And I didn't realise that was a thing.
Most people don't, though. Most of us don't. You think you have to engage with every thought, and it's true because I think it.
Yeah,
must be true. That's exhausting. That's a 10,000 thoughts a day exhaustion.
Yeah.
So let's change the way we speak to ourselves and get some power, isn't it? And give ourselves a little pat on the back at the end of every day. Well done, me.
Yeah.
I learned that, and tomorrow I'm going to do that. And that's lovely. Our body responds to our speech as well. Our body hears us speaking. Our body needs nourishing words and it needs good thoughts because it's a mind, body, spirit thing. So self-talk.
Oh, no, I was just going to say,
such a big thing.
Wasn't there a study that they've done with plants where they had two separate plants and they were saying negative things or shouting at one plant and at the other singing and saying happy, positive words or using music, and the one plant died and the other one thrived. Isn't that totally? I'm sure I've read that. I'm not quite sure which study it is, but I've read that that energy
is huge.
Is huge, and one is able to kill off a plant.
Of course,
and other can make it thrive.
There are studies in America on cells, listening to human cells exposed to our language, and the cells behave differently. Because, of course, they are. A person's going to thrive if you speak to them kindly, if you nurture them and love them. And this being, you, needs that. That's where you're going to become most powerful. If you are your biggest champion and your best friend, and you use things like, let's move on to affirmations. You start to change the I am. I am learning. I am growing. I am confident. I am able. I am capable. Start changing that language and listen to how it feels. How does it feel when you hear those words? It feels a lot nicer than when you say something horrible to yourself, which takes away your power. Because immediately you've pressed the stop button on your power. Can't do that, rubbish. Boom, stop. Let's go. I'm really good at learning. I remember learning that thing in school, and I was good at learning. I'm good at learning. I'm going to learn this new thing. I'm going to learn this new way because I am good at learning. You start linking all those things up and you start changing your language. Like learning a new language, Spanish or Japanese, you'd have to learn, change it, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Very important for our power is the self-talk and the affirmations. What affirmations do you use any at the moment, or have there been any used in the past that you've liked and have helped you on your journey?
So in particular with regards to
power or anything really, if there's anything you think that's helped you feel more you.
I think saying or starting an affirmation with I am open to, I am willing to. So when I found it difficult to say I am,
and that's very important.
I've softened it. I'm open to, I'm willing to. So I'm willing to learn, etc. I'm willing to learn how to love myself.
Yes.
I'm open to loving myself.
Definitely.
I would like to love myself.
Yeah.
Rather than I love myself. If I love myself was too hard and too much,
too big,
to take in.
Yeah.
Then I would soften it around that. So I think we can adapt these affirmations and these attentions to suit us.
Definitely.
Where we are right now, right here, right now, with a view of being able to do that, with a view of I can then go in the mirror and look myself in the eye and say, I love myself. I 100% truly and utterly love myself.
Yeah.
And that is a great feeling and a great place to be. But it took me years to get that. Took me years. I mean, when you dislike yourself and you don't love yourself and you hate various different aspects of yourself and you're feeling like I was, just worthless, really.
Yeah.
It's
definitely.
You can't go from down there all the way up there.
There's too much resistance there.
Small baby steps.
Definitely. And
to get you there.
Because what you want to do is reduce the resistance from your brain that's saying, no, I've been learning for 30 years this. You can't just tell me that new thing. I don't believe you. So you have to soften and open it up. I'm beginning to understand how it feels to be calm. Or I'm open to feeling calm, or in moments I'm able to feel calm. And this is good. And that your brain has less resistance to that. So it starts to soften and accept it, so that you can build up the power of your words until you come to the place where you are. And this is who I am. And that, using that helps your brain, because your brain has what's called neuroplasticity. It can change its neural pathways. It can learn new ones. Even if it said, I'm not for 40 years, it can then learn to say, I am. And that's fabulous. And when scientists and researchers are finding that now, our brain is far more able to learn than we thought it was. So when we say, oh, I'm just that, I've always been that, I'll always be that, that is not true. You can change. And that's where your power is in most areas of our life.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think when you get to that point where you can say that affirmation and you can feel it and you believe it, that sensation that you have in your body, that is, for me, ultimately powerful, because I'm not just thinking it with in my head and saying it with the words I speak.
Yes.
I'm actually feeling it as well. And that feeling of then, wow, I do love myself. Yeah, I am awesome. That has transformed me on my wellness journey as well, and it was a hard place to get to, because I kept saying these affirmations over and over again, but I didn't have the feeling.
Yes.
So the head was saying it, the mouth was saying it, but I wasn't believing it. It wasn't coming in that center, that heart space for me. So when it finally did, it was like, yeah.
And there's your power, isn't it? There's the alignment, because there's part of you knows this, and that's why it wants to hear you speak into it kindly, because it's like, hello, just remember how awesome you are, and you're unique, and you've got gifts that, you know, only you have, and you've got a voice that only you have, and you have a power that only you have. It really wants you to step forwards into that. And it doesn't like hearing you say those negative things. We wouldn't speak to others, well, most of us wouldn't, the way that we often speak to ourselves in our heads. Oh my gosh, we wouldn't have any friends. We wouldn't have any family left. We wouldn't have a job. We couldn't do that, could we? And yet this poor being every day has had it. From the moment you wake up to the moment you go to bed, it's had this negative self-talk. And then we wonder why we're powerless. Why am I not thriving in my work? Why am I not thriving in my... Because there's all these words that we've learned from the back that we just replay. So the power is noticing them, isn't it? And choosing them.
Yeah.
And working on them until they feel comfy and safe and
you know, I even now, you know, there would be words or thoughts that come up that are judgmental or critical, whether it's of myself or whether it's of others. That thought may come up, and then it's like, I am not going to verbalize this. I'm aware of this, but I'm not going to verbalize this. I'm now going to choose something different.
Yes. Because none of us, and we're not meant to be perfect, we will always have that negative little thing coming up, a new situation maybe, new job, and this new thing, this will come up. It's just to be aware of it, isn't it? But if we're using our language in a way that's harming us, then that's not good. Dr. Wayne Dyer, one of my favourite teachers ever, said, argue for your limitations and they are yours. So when you say, I can't, no, you can't. Well, because you've said it and you've stopped it straight away. So notice when your words are limiting. Do you want them to be limiting? If you don't, start shifting it, isn't it? And opening up to different words, different ways of speaking to yourself, about yourself, and with others, isn't it? You know, our interactions with others.
Of course.
You want them to be powerful too, so that we're sharing this lovely wellness, we're sharing this ripple, and you're showing others how to speak about themselves too. It's like our children. I try and speak positively in front of my daughter because I want her to use those words and know that it's okay to say those things. So she can put those into her subconscious mind and make those a habit. It's something that's so powerful.
Yeah, because we do as well from childhood, growing up, everything that we've been exposed to, you know, certain words will have a particular meaning for us as well. So we would have whether experiences, situations, feelings surrounding a particular word depending on our experience. So if somebody has, you know, referred to you growing up as sensitive, and sensitive is being seen as or you perceive it as a negative thing, or she's too sensitive, or can't say that because she's too sensitive. You're don't ask her for that. Don't the type of conversations that could have happened.
They make you feel powerless.
So going into that word and exploring that word and saying, well, what does that actually mean to me now? Now I'm older, now I'm wiser, and I can look objectively at that word. Can I change how I feel when I say or think that word? So can sensitive mean intuitive,
empathic, understanding, compassionate.
Exactly.
It's a very strong word, isn't it? It's a beautiful word.
It's a beautiful word, but yet for some,
it's used as a judgment, isn't it?
It's used as a judgment and a criticism. So, understanding that as well. So the deeper meaning within each word for you.
Because your perception.
How it is for you is completely different to me. Because we've all had different experiences.
And it's bringing that power into our life. And a powerful thing to do with words is to create a lovely intention that we tend to do, we do every week, isn't it? An intention is you're choosing the flow of your week. So if we're looking at the words now, what sort of intention could we create for this week? I'm going to choose my words more lovingly this week. Yeah. Something like that.
I will try to use loving words.
That's nice.
I choose, my words wisely.
I'm going to speak about myself more compassionately this week.
Yeah, compassionate words. Yeah.
I like that. So choose an intention for this week, around your words. Really flow this into your week. and have a little play with it, see how it feels. See if
Or
you notice
even,
it.
I will be aware of my words.
Absolutely, a good starting point.
Yeah.
Brilliant starting point.
Yeah. And maybe even journal on it as well, because I think
really good idea.
Sometimes we can gain a lot of clarity from journaling.
Oh my gosh, love journaling.
So if you feel the urge,
do it as part of your intention for this week, as part of you. So on that note, thank you for joining us today. We're so grateful to be part of your wellness journey. Maybe you're on a cuppa this morning, or you're doing something in the kitchen and you're listening to us. That's wonderful. And if you did enjoy listening, please like, follow and subscribe us. Share it with your friends, your work colleagues, your family. Let's spread this ripple out there.
Yes. So if you would like to find out more about myself and Suzanne, then all the details are in the bio or the show notes, whatever you're watching on. So come and follow us and say hi as well on our socials. So remember that you are awesome today and always. So remember that.
Definitely.
See you next time.
Lots of hearts.